Hey, what's up? This is Mad Dog 2001 responding to Instant Classic 8's 5 favorite pay-per-views. I gotta say, I agree with. There's gonna be 2 on his list that is actually on mine also, just because I recently watched WrestleMania 19. But ones that will not be on here also WrestleMania 17. I mean, I enjoyed the pay-per-view. I mean, it was good and everything, but I don't know. Maybe it just was a little bit whatever. And then there was WrestleMania 18 won't be on this list, and neither will WrestleMania 22, 24. There's no TNA pay-per-views. So let's get started, I guess. Number 5, and a lot of people are gonna say like, what? Would be Royal Rumble 2003. Now, the reason I love this pay-per-view, and I own it also, is the fact is the title match, the WWE title match, was better than I think the Royal Rumble itself. And it was a good Royal Rumble for once. Usually I kind of hate the Royal Rumbles because I just think they're stupid, but I really enjoyed the Royal Rumble of this one. But Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit, classic matchup, and basically, I mean, this is just a pure wrestling match. Probably one of the best matches I've probably seen. I don't know, maybe safely to say. I mean, it's in my top 5 favorite wrestling matches. Probably, I think that'll be another video, I guess, one other day. But and then of course you had some duds on there like Triple H versus Steiner, which actually wasn't too bad of a match, but a lot of people didn't like it, and the fans really booed the hell out of Steiner, even though he was supposed to be the face. And the Royal Rumble match itself was good, with Lesnar winning it. Number 4, One Night Stand, 2006. I loved it because of the crowd, first of all, and the matches were just awesome. I loved the Kurt Angle versus Orton match. It was too bad it was the opener. But this was just because the fact the crowd's chanting "You suck dick" and all that kind of shit. I mean, this was, and then the JBL promo in there also was awesome. I enjoyed pretty much this entire pay-per-view. There was only one match on there that I didn't care for. Then number 3, WrestleMania 19, and I also own this pay-per-view, and this is probably this is my favorite WrestleMania. Not because, and a lot of people give me shit because I think Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar is it's my favorite WrestleMania match, or was my favorite WrestleMania match. I haven't even seen WrestleMania 22 quite yet. I've only seen like a couple matches, but I've never watched it as the full show. That's probably the only WrestleMania since WrestleMania 14 that I haven't seen yet, and I'll probably be watching that this week. But the thing with WrestleMania 19 is, of course, you had the Austin Rock match, which a lot of people thought was great. I didn't think it was the best match because I don't like seeing Austin get his ass whooped, but that's what it felt like to me. Because usually in the Rock Austin matches they're pretty even, but Austin's usually the aggressor. That's usually what it seems like to me, at least since I was a kid. That could be wrong. I mean, it's been a long time. And then the Hogan versus McMahon match, I hated that match, to be honest. That match just seemed like a filler to me. But I really enjoyed the Kurt Angle Lesnar match, just because the fact was, fucking Kurt Angle kicked out of an F5. That was fucking awesome. Number 2, and a lot of you, including I think whoever even watches this, is saying like, why is this? This is not a great pay-per-view. And I would agree with you. It's probably not the great pay-per-view. I just love the main event. Unforgiven 2001. Now, hear me out. If any of you watched wrestling around this time period, this is when I was really I was probably, I think, 7th grade during this time period, so I was watching wrestling on a religious basis. The main event was Kurt Angle versus Stone Cold Steve Austin for the title. Angle as the face, Austin as the heel. The month previously at SummerSlam, Angle got screwed out of the title. I mean, he didn't lose the title, but he had the matchup won, and referee Nick Patrick disqualified Austin, it seemed like, for no damn reason, because Nick Patrick was a WCW referee. And they built this up. They built it up like Angle didn't have a chance at one point because Austin re-injured his neck. He power drived him on the exposed cement. Angle went to the hospital, came back the very next night, ripped off his neck brace, and he's just like, you know in the back of your mind that you can't beat me kind of thing. They had a match, and for once to see a Kurt Angle Austin match where Kurt Angle is the aggressive one in this match. I mean, he pretty much whooped Austin's ass, picked up the victory, made him tap out with a controversial ending, but Austin tapped out, which I think was the first time in a pay-per-view that he tapped out. Of course, WrestleMania 13. Correct me, I never saw the match, so I don't think he didn't tap out in that match, did he? I don't know. That's before my time. So basically, I mean, it was just an awesome. I mean, really, that's the match I remember. Also, I think there was Edge vs. Christian for the IC title. I remember that one too, and I think that was the one that Christian won. See, I mean, I haven't seen the pay-per-view in probably like 4 years, but it's still one of my favorites just because of that. Just because of the moment. And then number 1, InstantClassic mentioned Survivor Series 02. The year before that, I think, was my favorite Survivor Series because of the main event also. And basically, the pay-per-view was worth buying for the main event because you had 9 big names in this main event that are all right now former heavyweight champions, I believe. WCW versus WWF. And this was shortly after Unforgiven. You had the No Mercy pay-per-view, and then after that was Survivor Series. And they built this up like WWF had too many quote-unquote stars. WCW was lacking a little bit. WCW at the time had, Stone Cold Steve Austin as their leader, and then Booker T, RVD, like Rhino, and a lot of jobbers. But at the time, they were lacking, and WWF had like The Rock, Chris Jericho, Kurt Angle, Big Show, Undertaker, Kane, all these big names, and so they had to. So Angle jumped to WCW, knocked everyone out with a chair, so he's a heel again. He goes back to works with Austin basically, and the very end of the pay-per-view was awesome. Angle gets eliminated, and it's Austin versus Jericho and The Rock. And the Jericho and The Rock had this rivalry, a face rivalry kind of thing, feuding for the WCW title. Yeah, 2 WWF guys fighting for the WCW title. Whatever. But they're facing off for the title back at No Mercy, and Jericho won, and then Rock won it back a couple weeks later. And so Jericho gets eliminated by Austin, comes out, bulldogs the Rock, gives him the lion salt, leaves the ring. So it looks like Austin's going to pick up the victory here. Austin goes for the pin, Rock kicks out, and then they have a brief, like 5-6 minute match, just one-on-one with each other. And Angle comes back down, and we're wondering, what's he doing down here? He's coming out to help Austin, right? Well, he hits Austin with the title. Rock gets the rock bottom, gets the victory. And that was all cool and stuff. The very next night on Raw is what really made the pay-per-view even better. The fact that to me it just made no sense, and I never understood this. Rock they're gonna crown a new champion. I gotta hurry up here. Ric Flair somehow comes out, and then Austin turns face all of a sudden. Angle's heel, even though he just helped the WWF win. I mean, it was a really weird night on Raw, and nothing really made sense to me. So recap: Royal Rumble, One Night Stand, WrestleMania 19, Unforgiven, Survivor Series. This is Mad Dog 2001.